On a fateful day, 47 years ago, the aviation world was irrevocably altered by the largest air disaster in history. This incident, known as the Tenerife disaster, serves as a somber reminder of the critical importance of safety protocols in aviation. The Boeing 747, operated by Pan Am, was a well-known giant in the skies, having completed its first commercial flight just a few years earlier. The aircraft, named Clipper Victor, was on a charter flight from Los Angeles to Las Palmas, carrying 396 souls. As the plane soared over the Atlantic, it faced an unexpected diversion. A terrorist attack had shut down the airport in Las Palmas, forcing all flights to reroute to Tenerife, a small island in the Canary Islands. Tenerife's airport was not equipped to handle the sudden influx of aircraft. Both the Pan Am flight and a KLM jumbo jet named Papotel Bravo Uniform Fox were among those redirected. Due to limited space, the planes were forced to taxi on the active runway and await further instructions. As the KLM aircraft waited, its captain, Jacob van Zaten, requested an unusually high amount of fuel. This raised concerns among aviation experts, as it suggested he was anxious about the possibility of not being able to take off quickly enough if the Las Palmas airport reopened. The tension in the cockpit was palpable, and communication between the crew and air traffic control became increasingly crucial. When the airport at Las Palmas reopened, the Pan Am flight found itself unable to move due to the KLM jet blocking its path. With the KLM preparing for takeoff, the Pan Am flight received clearance to taxi on the runway, but confusion reigned. The dense fog enveloping the airport severely reduced visibility, and key communications became muddled. Captain van Zaten, feeling the pressure of impending regulations regarding flight times, made a decision that would have catastrophic consequences. Despite lacking proper clearance to take off, he began to accelerate down the runway. His first officer, Klaus Meers, voiced his concerns, but van Zaten dismissed them, urging him to request the necessary authorization. The air traffic controller was also caught in the crossfire of miscommunication, as both the KLM and Pan Am crews transmitted messages simultaneously. The KLM crew mistakenly believed they had received clearance to take off, while the Pan Am crew remained on the runway, still awaiting confirmation to vacate. As the KLM aircraft surged forward, the pilots in the Pan Am cockpit realized the impending disaster. Captain Victor Gruber shouted for his crew to escape just moments before the KLM jet collided with the Clipper Victor. In an effort to avoid disaster, Gruber pushed the throttles to full power, attempting to maneuver away from the oncoming jet. However, the KLM was already too close, and the collision was inevitable. The weight of the KLM, compounded by the excess fuel it carried, made it difficult for the aircraft to ascend quickly. It struck the Pan Am jet, resulting in a horrific scene on the runway. All 248 passengers aboard the KLM perished, while 61 individuals from the Pan Am flight survived, highlighting the tragic scale of the disaster. In total, 583 lives were lost that day, a staggering number that sparked profound changes in aviation safety protocols. The lessons learned from this tragedy reshaped cockpit communication and operational procedures worldwide. One significant change was the introduction of Crew Resource Management, CRM, which emphasizes the importance of teamwork and communication among all crew members. This shift encouraged co-pilots and flight engineers to speak up and question the captain's decisions, a practice that was once unthinkable in aviation culture. Additionally, standard phraseology was adopted globally to minimize miscommunication. Enhanced training on human factors has also become critical, focusing on how crew members respond under pressure and manage stress. Procedures regarding crew rest and flight scheduling have been significantly improved, reducing the likelihood of fatigue-related errors. Regulations now ensure that pilots have adequate rest before flights, and cancellations are more likely to occur at the origin rather than en route to avoid overextending crew work hours. The protocols surrounding fuel management have also been tightened. Airlines now closely monitor the amount of fuel loaded onto aircraft, ensuring that excess weight does not hinder performance in critical situations. Perhaps the most crucial change has been the implementation of stringent measures to prevent runway incursions. Modern airports utilize advanced radar systems to track aircraft movements on the ground, even in low visibility conditions. Automated lighting systems are being tested to prevent unauthorized access to runways, functioning like traffic lights to guide pilots safely. As we reflect on the lessons of the Tenerife disaster, it is essential to acknowledge that no life lost is ever in vain. The changes implemented in the wake of this tragedy have dramatically improved aviation safety, contributing to a significant decline in fatal accidents over the past 4 decades. The profound beauty of aviation lies in its ability to learn from mistakes. If we applied such lessons to politics, perhaps São Paulo wouldn't have faced a severe water shortage last year. Yet, little has been done to change consumer habits or the practices of those responsible for managing resources. Unfortunately, we cannot always expect such accountability from many politicians. Therefore, it falls upon each of us to learn from our own errors and strive for improvement. Society will thank you for it. So, do your part. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Until next time, take care.